Hello there. I hope you're doing well today. We're on day 12 now of the Advent, and we're back in the book of Luke, and we're going to be in chapter 2, verses 4, 5, and 6. And we're still now in the process of getting Joseph and Mary from the city of Nazareth to the city of Bethlehem. Listen what these verses say in 4, 5, and 6. Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was with child. So it was that while they were there, the days were completed for her to be delivered. We see here in this 3 verses that Joseph was of the city of David. He was in the lineage of David. In the process, if you go begot, Joseph is in that lineage of David. So therefore, he had to go back to where David was at, and that's in this little city of Bethlehem. Now, Bethlehem was not a big place. It was a small place from what we can read in the Word of God. And if you go back to Micah in the Old Testament, chapter 5 and verse 2, we see here the prophecy by the prophet Micah and what would happen. In verse 2, he says, "But you, Bethlehem," and I'm going to try to pronounce this word, epitaph, "though you are little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of you shall come forth to me the one to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth are from of old, from everlasting." Think about that. Out of all the big towns and the big cities of that day, in Jerusalem and Nazareth and all these places, it was Bethlehem. The small, he said, though you are small, though you are little among the thousands of Judah, this is where Jesus Christ was predicted to be born. And it says, by picturing this great king as coming from Bethlehem, Micah suggests that he will be a new David in accord with several other prophets. Like David of old, this ruler will defeat Israel's enemies, and he would protect them from would-be invaders. And Jesus fulfills these prophecies in Matthew 2 and 6, and Luke 2, verse 4 and 11. So we go back to Luke, 500 to 700 years later, we see Joseph and Mary on that journey. They went up out of Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, and to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and the lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his wife, with child. So it's just amazing how we see these series of events that most people back in those days had no idea. Though they knew the prophecy of a coming Messiah, before their very eyes it was happening, but they didn't see it. That's amazing. It's how many times have we done that, had something big happening right in front of us and not realize it until sometime later we find out what was actually happening. And that's what happened in that day. Mary and Joseph, no doubt, traveling with a crowd of people going toward Bethlehem. She looked like just an average girl fixing to have a baby, her and her husband. No doubt people were talking of excitement of the coming child. No doubt her mother, his father, his parents, whatever, they were excited with the coming child. Never thinking of what was really happening right before their very eyes. And today, Jesus Christ, we know, was born. He lived upon this earth for 33 and a half years. He's gone back to the Father. And today sits listening to our cries, waiting for those who are lost to call upon him to be forgiven of their sins. But people are blinded to the fact that that is their way out of hell. That is their way to heaven. But yet they're not paying it any attention. I pray today, if you're lost, look at this story of how much God loved you, how much Jesus loved you, that he came down to earth and went through all this so that we might be free from the bondage of sin, and that one day we could go to live with him.